Breaking news out of Pittsburgh. The Steelers just received a major update that could shake things up heading into this weekend. From injuries to player performances, and even some surprising comments about Aaron Rodgers, you're going to want to hear all of this. Let's get right into it. The Steelers have been dealt some tough news following Thursday night football between the Packers and the Commanders. This development could impact not only the upcoming matchup, but also how the team prepares for the weeks ahead. And it doesn't stop there. Big Week 2 injury updates are rolling in for both the Steelers and the Seahawks. Key players' statuses are in question, and some of these updates could decide the outcome of Sunday's game. But before we dive deeper into the latest news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss a single Steelers update. Alright, let's move on to the new news. Now, one of the brighter spots for Pittsburgh, the coaching staff has been very impressed with Jabril Peppers, and signs point to him being ready for Sunday's clash against Seattle. His presence on the field could be a game-changer. Meanwhile, over on the national stage, Tom Brady recently spoke on the Colin Cowherd Show, where he highlighted what he believes is Aaron Rodgers' most elite trait, a skill that Brady even compared to Matthew Stafford. It's an eye-opening discussion that could explain why Rodgers still belongs in the conversation as a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. We start this update with some tough news out of Green Bay. On Thursday Night Football, Packers wide receiver Jayden Reed suffered a broken collarbone. At first glance, this might seem like just another injury story, but it directly impacts the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why? Because Reed's absence makes it far less likely that Romeo Dew will be available in a trade. Many Steelers fans were hoping for a reunion between Dew and Aaron Rodgers in black and gold. But with Reed sidelined, Dew now becomes a critical piece of the Packers' offense. Unless he personally pushes for a trade, a scenario that feels very unlikely, Green Bay simply cannot afford to let him go. Now, shifting focus back to Pittsburgh as we prepare for the home opener against Seattle, Joey Porter Jr. will be sidelined with a hamstring injury. He left last week's game early against the Jets and has officially been ruled out for Sunday's matchup. In his place, Brandon Echols is expected to step in. Echols has shown promise with his tackling ability and solid preseason work, and he'll now get a chance to prove himself under the bright lights. This change could also mean we see more of Jalen Ramsey lined up on the outside, a role Steelers fans may not be as accustomed to, but one that could add some versatility to the secondary. On the other side of the field, the Seahawks are dealing with setbacks of their own. Safety Nick Manry, who plays a vital role in Seattle's defensive schemes, has been ruled out after suffering an ankle injury against the 49ers. His absence leaves a significant hole in their coverage unit heading into this weekend. The injury situation in Seattle is starting to pile up, and it could play directly into Pittsburgh's hands. With safety Nick Manry already out, the Seahawks also face uncertainty at cornerback. Their top defensive back, Devin Witherspoon, is listed as doubtful with a knee injury. That means Shaq Griffin will likely step into the slot, a role he's not entirely built for. Griffin has spent most of his career on the outside, and sliding him inside exposes a weakness the Steelers can attack. Alongside Griffin, Josh Jobe and Tariq Woolen will handle the other coverage responsibilities. But both are outside specialists, which leaves the slot wide open as a potential vulnerability. For Pittsburgh, this is an opportunity. Expect Calvin Austin III to be heavily involved, forcing Seattle's secondary into uncomfortable matchups. One-on-one coverage in the slot against Austin's speed is a battle the Steelers would gladly take all day long. On the outside, there's another intriguing matchup. DK Metcalf is set to go head-to-head with Tariq Woolen. And while Woolen is an athletic corner, Metcalf's size and strength give him the upper hand in this clash. Shifting back to Pittsburgh, there's also encouraging news. Jabril Peppers appears ready to make his Steelers debut. Reports say he's learning the defensive system quickly and impressing coaches with his physical style of play. Safety Juan Thornhill even praised his new teammate, noting that Peppers looks like he's been in the scheme for far longer than just a few weeks. If Peppers is indeed on the field Sunday, it adds another hard-hitting, intelligent presence to Pittsburgh's secondary, exactly what the defense needs against a Seattle team missing some key pieces. If Jabril Peppers takes the field this Sunday, don't expect him to look like a newcomer. He's a hard-hitting, high-IQ veteran who knows how to fit into a system quickly. Defensive players often have a smoother transition mid-season than offensive ones. The schemes and responsibilities are more familiar, and the biggest hurdle is usually just learning the terminology and communication within the secondary. Peppers has been around long enough to recognize coverages and concepts, and the Steelers' defensive playbook isn't anything he hasn't seen before. All signs point to him adjusting quickly and making an immediate impact. Now, shifting to the quarterback conversation, one of the most fascinating storylines this week involves Aaron Rodgers. Recently, Tom Brady praised Rodgers for his unique ability to manipulate defenses, specifically pointing to his mastery of the no-look pass. Rodgers has long been known for freezing defenders with his eyes, disguising his true target until the very last moment. According to Steelers defenders who faced him in practice, it's nearly impossible to anticipate where the ball is going, because Rodgers can sell the fake better than almost anyone in NFL history. That skill, as Brady highlighted, is part of what has kept Rodgers in the conversation as one of the league's elite quarterbacks, even this late in his career. When Tom Brady talks about what separates elite quarterbacks, he points to one thing above all: the ability to manipulate defenses with their mind. The perfect example? The no-look pass. Brady explained that when a quarterback executes it, he isn't just showing off. It's about reading coverage instantly. By staring down a defender, he can force the defense to commit low, only to fire the ball to the open man higher up the route. It's arm talent, yes, but more importantly, it's mental precision at the highest level of football. Interestingly, Brady was originally talking about Matthew Stafford, another quarterback famous for no-look throws. But every word applies just as much to Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers has been doing it for years, and Steelers defenders witnessed it firsthand throughout training camp. TJ Watt admitted that Rodgers' ability to disguise his throws has been frustrating, saying that as soon as you think you've got him, he finds a way to move the ball past you. Safety Deshaun Elliott echoed that sentiment, calling Rodgers' manipulation of defenses unlike anything he's ever seen, highlighting his cadence, ball placement, and ability to disguise intentions. Even head coach Mike Tomlin, who has built his reputation on defense, praised Rodgers' subtle mastery at the line of scrimmage. He noted how Rodgers uses cadence to disrupt communication, sometimes snapping the ball early, other times double or triple counting to force mistakes. Combine that with his no-look passes and field vision, and you get a quarterback who doesn't just play the game. He bends it to his will. This is why, even as Rodgers ages, there's still no question about his place among the NFL's most dangerous quarterbacks. Here's the question that has to be asked. What's the real difference right now between Matthew Stafford and Aaron Rodgers? Both are older quarterbacks. Neither relies on mobility anymore. Yet both remain masters at processing defenses, using their eyes to manipulate coverages and delivering accurate throws from different arm angles. Their pocket presence and decision-making still rank among the best in football. Across the league, Matthew Stafford continues to be viewed as a top 8, some even say top 5, quarterback. Meanwhile, Rodgers is often dismissed as though he's washed up. But when you break it down, their skill sets are remarkably similar. There's even evidence of how highly Rodgers is valued behind the scenes. At one point this offseason, Sean McVay reportedly considered moving Stafford for draft capital and bringing in Rodgers instead. The logic was simple. Rodgers could be acquired for a fraction of the price, while still offering the same high-level traits. In the end, the Rams stayed with Stafford, but the fact McVay even weighed that option says everything about how Rodgers is still viewed by one of the brightest offensive minds in the NFL. So why does the public perception tell a different story? Is it because Rodgers' stint with the Jets was overshadowed by dysfunction? Is it because his last truly elite efficiency numbers came in 2021? Or is it more about the controversies off the field than his play on it? What the tape shows is undeniable. Rodgers still has the arm strength, the poise, and the football intelligence to compete with anyone. And let's not forget, Tom Brady carried those exact traits into his 40s and walked away with a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. The idea that Rodgers can't still play at a top 10 level says more about narrative than reality. On the field, the tools are still there. If the Steelers can surround Aaron Rodgers with the right support, solid protection, reliable weapons, a balanced run game, and a defense that can carry its weight, then the path forward becomes clear. We've seen this blueprint before. The Rams built it around Matthew Stafford and won a championship. The Buccaneers did it with Tom Brady and lifted the Lombardi. Rodgers still has the skill set to be that kind of difference maker. The arm talent, the field vision, the ability to elevate the players around him. It's all still there. And with Pittsburgh, the stage is set for him to prove it. I'll be watching closely to see how far he can take this team in black and gold. For me, there's no question. If Stafford is seen as a top 10 quarterback, there's no reason Rodgers can't re-enter that conversation this season. The only real question left is how far this ride can go. and whether Rodgers can push the Steelers back into true Super Bowl contention.